Well, we are so lucky right now to be sitting here with Dr. Ann West, and you came because we are doing an awareness builder on Prop 37, but I wanted to get just a little bit of your background.
Sure. Yeah, well, I've been in radio broadcasting for the last 18 years. I've got about 5,000 hours of broadcasting, and I have a passion for bringing the truth out to the community so that people can make conscious choices in their life and be aware of what it is that's actually shaping their lives, and bringing a lot of the subconscious up to the conscious. And genetically modified foods is one of those things, along with any environmental issue that may be a detriment to humanity. So the show that I've been focusing on for the past 18 years is called Truth from the Source, and that's exactly what I do. Is I go to the source of the information, and I dig for treasures. I'm kind of like a treasure hunter. So I try to find as much information that can help to change people's lives for the better, so they can make conscious choices with their dollar. I always believe that with every dollar that we spend, we're making a vote, and try to encourage people to, especially when it comes to their food, to buy organic and to ask for labeling on their food so that we know what it is, what the poisons are. So we need to be more informed, and that's really what my show is all about, is about keeping people really highly informed at a very high intelligent level, where it brings up conversations, and I like to ask the questions that aren't being asked. And
Yay. So I have a question for you. And this is where I would like to bring in Sequoia-Lyn James. What question would you like to ask her?
What I'm curious about right now, Sequoia, is that I've seen that you've been putting in a lot of effort into Proposition 37 and saying yes to Proposition 37 for the state of California. And I feel like I've been noticing a lot of opposition to Proposition, saying no to Proposition 37 coming up on the internet. I've been seeing that there's been outside sources and forces. I'd like to know if you know who they are that is opposing it and why.
Well, with my digging, I have come across that Monsanto has already donated $7 million to the state of California to oppose the yes vote of Proposition 37. But there's countless other companies and many different corporations, Pepsi, as well as Dean Foods. These are companies that own now, for instance, Silk and Naked Juice, for instance. So there's many different products that are actually considered natural products or even organic products, and they contain different byproducts that come from genetically engineered corn or soy. So this is a very big conversation when it comes to labeling. So I understand that the opposition doesn't want to have to change their labels. They're going to tell us that it's because food prices are going to go up.
That's one of the things that I've definitely been hearing.
Right, those all come from corn, and they now come from genetically engineered corn. It's amazing what they can do with genetically engineered corn and soy and canola. These byproducts are just endless. There's hundreds of ingredients that are byproducts, including vitamins, including vitamin B6, vitamin B12, folic acid, vitamin C. I mean, it's just no ending. And so once we thought we could read a label and really trust the ingredient, like, oh, citric acid, that's an ingredient I can trust.
A pretty benign.
That's a benign ingredient I can trust. And nowadays, wow, we don't know if that citric acid is from G.M.O corn or not. Baking goods, gluten-free is so important to people. And back in the day, we could trust that xanthan gum was a thickener for those gluten cake mixes, or we make a cake from scratch or bread. But nowadays, xanthan gum is genetically engineered. So we don't know if is it the GMO xanthan gum or not. This is why we need to have it labeled. People have a right to know. It's just basic. Oil. And it's not organic canola oil. It doesn't say expeller pressed canola oil either. So they're using the bare bones, dirtiest on the market canola oil, which means it's from GMO. It also means that it's run through nickel, a poison, to be deodorized so that the rancid smell and taste could be removed. Because it's common knowledge, well, it's not common knowledge.
May it be common knowledge.
May it be common knowledge that canola oil in the first place is a byproduct from World War I. It was originally used as seed to produce mustard gas. We have a surplus. They decided, wow, look, it creates this oil. It's an oil that is not going to create cholesterol, and boom, it got put in our marketplace. Canola oil isn't the best oil for us to eat. And when it's refined to extract that oil, it goes rancid. So they have to take the rancid odor and the rancid taste out of it. It's still rancid, but you can't tell any longer. And if it doesn't say expeller pressed canola oil, which is organic, and they say that it's organic, then you don't want to be eating that canola oil. I have a 19-year-old nephew who has colitis. And he was brought up with the American family who was looking as though they were eating all the perfect foods, all the good foods, but they were eating the basic name brands. They were eating canola oil. I mean, that looked like the oil you wanted to buy to make all your foods with. It's been really just marketed. So even people who think that they've been making really good choices in how they feed their families are having children show up. I have a nephew that is now with colitis, and he is a football player and somebody who, in his opinion, takes great care of himself, works out at the gym, and eats all the best foods. But herein lies the problem. We're going to be finding this all the time.
More and more.
More and more.
If we don't take a stand and stand up to the food industry and reclaim our ability to not have genetically modified foods snuck into our diet.
Even if we do take a stand, we're still going to have some of these results.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's how do we actually recognize that we need to change it so that it's not as terrible as it can be if we do nothing.
Well, absolutely.
And that's why we're not doing nothing, but really recognizing that it's a major concern. I mean, right now here we are, and in what it's going to be like in 10 or 20 years if it's not checked. Genetic roulette?
In the movie Genetic Roulette, which is a movie that is now available for purchase online, it actually has many families saying that when they took their children off genetically engineered foods, their autism began to go away. So this is a very important movie to watch. The movie is potent. I believe it's about an hour and a half long, and it is rich with content, and you don't want to miss this movie, Genetic Roulette.
Good one.